Welcome to the Dynamic Radiologist Podcast, where we feature leading experts in healthcare. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Brownstein.
Dr. Brownstein here, host of the Dynamic Radiologist Podcast, where I feature top leaders in health field and business and what they are doing to change the world. Best guests and organizations I've worked with include Rutgers, New Jersey Medical School, Newark Beth Israel Medical Center, National Pain Foundation, and many more. This episode is brought to you by Dynamic Medical Imaging that I started over 16 years ago. We are the leading experts in personal injury imaging, so if you or a loved one know or someone who has been in a car accident, work-related injury, or a slip and fall, give us a call. We have doctors all over New Jersey refer their patients to us, but what is really more telling is those same doctors come to us for their own imaging and send their family tests. I've been a board-certified radiologist for over 40 years. I've seen almost anything under the sun. Go to www.dynamicmedicalimaging.com for questions. Go to the contact page. This episode is also brought to you by Spinal Kinetics that we started over 10 years ago. We help medical providers of all specialties evaluate for the presence, location, and severity of spinal ligament injuries. If you do stress radiographs of any kind, then you send them to our trained doctors who use our special technology called CRMA, or Computerized Radiographic Mensuration Analysis, which is an advanced X-ray measurement technology to accurately measure the exact abnormal motion problems that occur with a spinal ligament injury. If you have any questions, go to www.thespinalkinetics.com or email support@thespinalkinetics.com. Well, today I have some very important people from the town of Union. We have Mayor Michelle Delsfort, who earned her BA degree at Rutgers Medical School, Rutgers New Brunswick in political science, and a master's degree at Rutgers in city and regional planning. She's licensed by the American Institute of Certified Planners, and her past jobs include planning manager for the city of East Orange. She's been an instructor at Rutgers at the Edward Brownstein School of Planning and Public Policy, and she's principal and managing partner of the Shane Group, LLC, which is a planning firm located in Montclair, New Jersey. Also today we have the Township Administrator, Don Travisano. He graduates from Seton Hall with a BA in English, a master's in Public Administration. He worked for 17 years in the city of Elizabeth, and also as town administrator for the town of Dover. In the past, he's frequented Jan's Restaurant, Five Points, and the Union Theater. And now also we have is Fatima Raymond, Director of Economic Development, Director of Neighborhood Revitalization for the Elizabeth Development Company. Last but not least, we have Jim Masterson, who's the Executive Director of Union Township Chamber of Commerce, past Vice President of Human Resources at Union Hospital. I want to thank you all for spending your time today out of your busy schedule, and again, welcome. And today we're going to discuss Union, New Jersey, which I spent most of my adult life either driving through, eating, working, or picking up my girlfriend who turned to be my wife. Thank you all. And so today, let's talk about Union, what's happening, what you see in the future. I think our people that listen to the podcast want to know why is Union such a great place to live, eat, work, and play. Mayor?
Well, I got to tell you, Union is a wonderful place. I was raised in Union. I've raised my family in Union, and it's some place that I promote 100%. Our business administrator, Don Travisano, will speak more about our double A bond rating, but Union is a place where we highly advocate for education from grade kindergarten and preschool all the way through university. In fact, most recently we have the former Commissioner of Education for the state of New Jersey here that was installed as the president of Kane University, and we've instituted a great relationship with him. We have ongoing investment throughout our township, from retail to residential. We are rated the 43rd most best place to live in America. We have completed our new master plan, which is the first time we've had a new master plan in 38 years. We have continued investment throughout our infrastructure. We've rebuilt and repaved over 100 roads out of 650 roads town-wide. Park renovations are underway, and we just continue to revitalize our downtown and the major corridors throughout the township. We work we work to fight for equitable service for our commuters by working with Rad and Ballard Coalition to establish a one-stop ride at peak hours. There's just so much to do. We are so proud of the diversity in our town. We co-host flag raising from various countries throughout the world. But you know what I have to say honestly is it's the residents and the patrons of Union that makes Union a great place to live. You know, nowhere will you find a population of almost 60,000 people where, you know, technically that's urban, but you have this like small town feel everywhere you go in the township. People are so kind to each other. And, you know, that's important, especially during this pandemic, where people really take the time to stop and speak to you and see how you're feeling and really do a lot of engagement and outreach and share their concern and, you know, their compassion for one another. And that's not something that you find in a lot of municipalities or townships, but here in Union, that's just something that, you know, I've experienced throughout my entire time here and others have experienced. So it's a great place to live.
That's great. Don, you want to chime in?
Sure. Thanks, Dr. Brownstein. We're honored to be here today. Me in particular, this is my first podcast, so I just want to say thanks for the invite. And I do want to mention you did leave off Jim Masterson's probably his best credential today, which is he is now a grandfather for the fourth time. So congratulations, Jim.
Congratulations, Jim.
Thank you.
So yeah, I mean, it's really hard to begin sometimes to talk about Union, but I think the logical place is to really talk about, you know, when the founders of Union named this place Union, you know, several hundred years later, I don't know that they could really have envisioned, you know, what the significance of that name really is. You know, we really are a place that is homogeneous in many ways. The residents get along, and they don't all look alike, and they don't all make the same amount of money, and they don't all live in the same type of housing. They don't have the same types of jobs. So Union is really a progressive model for, I think, what, you know, people today would really like to see the United States look like. It's got a small town feel, as the mayor mentioned, which is really, I mean, for a town of 60,000, almost 60,000 is unheard of. Our economy is very strong. I mean, the lessons that we've learned in 2020, we don't know what's coming tomorrow. We don't know what's coming around the corner. But I can tell you that we are in far better shape than many other towns. You know, from the governmental side, we are very conservative when it comes to, you know, when it comes to the financial side of the house. As the mayor mentioned, we have a AA+ bond rating, which we're very proud of. And in large part, that is attributed not only to those conservative financial practices, but more importantly, to what's going on around town. So if you take a quick drive, you'll notice that we have some pretty impressive development projects, some pretty impressive commercial projects that are either being built or in the pipeline. Those are all things that, you know, that raise the economic development tide. You know, I'm fond of saying that, you know, a rising tide lifts all boats. And that's absolutely true when it comes to these projects. You know, by and large, when compared to other municipalities throughout the state of New Jersey, Union's police and fire services and EMS services are at the top. It is safer than, you know, than the lion's share of other municipalities that are similarly situated. And our economy is thriving. And, you know, we have regular internal meetings where we talk about, you know, and I just have to mention, it's great to be a part of a group of people who constantly want to do better and try better. We never rest on our laurels. We always want to do better. And it's always with the focus of what is in the best interest of the residents. Nobody ever has an I or a me agenda. And that's really refreshing. So I know I'm kind of all over the place, but I just wanted to get that out there. And thanks again for having us. And we love the township, and we just want everybody out there to know that you're in good hands.
I can attest every time we need to call the fire department or police department or EMS, they were prompt, courteous, knowledgeable, empathetic to both the patients and our center. And I couldn't be happier with those services as a business owner, and also for our patients. If we have a problem, all we have to do is pick up a call, and whoever we need is there. We've had the surgery center upstairs from us, they forgot to turn off the water, and we've had a couple of floods as a consequence, so the fire department was here. We've had other situations with EMS, patients getting dizzy, and everybody's been highly responsive, as I said, and I'm glad we have a business in Union.
Dr. Brownstein, government exists to serve the residents, and we talk all the time, and largely at the mayor's direction, we treat this machine like it's a customer service entity, and so we pride ourselves on in responding thoroughly, accurately, and we really believe that it's our responsibility to get back and to provide these services. So we're the Disney model of local municipalities.
That's great. Fatima?
Good morning, Dr. Brownstein. Thank you for having us. Fatima, I did serve in 2 capacities as Economic Development Director and Special Improvement District. During the pandemic, as a township and as new administration came in, we realized that we needed to take a focus, make businesses, our commercial corridors a priority, and give an additional attention to economic development in the best way. So we have now divided that position, and you'll eventually meet Carlos Sanchez, who now serves as the Economic Development Director. So that way most of my attention is focused on our retail and our commercial corridors, as well as business development in and around our commercial corridors. When we're talking about Union, from a perspective of our retail businesses, during the pandemic, we were able to bring 4 new restaurants online. As you indicated earlier, Dr. Brownstein, you really can go around the world here in terms of food and taste, depending on what you want to eat. And I think that is is not known to most. And so that's something that we certainly are working on with our upcoming restaurant week. But during the pandemic, what we were able to do, and most don't know, is that as a township, as our administrator said, Don and Amir, this is a community, and we do approach it in a very customer service base, where we put in their priorities first. Because without our retail and our downtowns, it really would not make Union a good place to live, work and play, as you indicated, which is an Elizabeth slogan, but we'll take it. And so what we've been able to do is focus in on that and try to stabilize that to help our business continue to thrive, even when during the pandemic, we came together and just figure out ways on how we could continue to help what was considered non-essential businesses, as well as our restaurants, where we've been able to give over $58,000 back to our businesses to help them continue to thrive. Because with this unknown, it was very difficult to try to keep most online, but we were able to do that, and we'll continue to grow and thrive by reinvesting back in those small businesses. And we're looking to probably do more. We're working a lot closer with the state and trying to figure out ways on how the state can help us as a hybrid community with grants and funding, because we continue to do well as a township. You really don't see those wide gaps, but we are really looking to really try to improve that. But we have been focusing on that, whether during that pandemic with promotions and really just trying to get those non-essential businesses back out there, and helping seniors with creative activities just to take their mind off of the pandemic just for a moment. And we continue to do that on the green here in the township. So those are some of the things that we've been able to do. And also just try to connect Chestnut Street and do more there. You'll see first time ever with infrastructure, as the mayor touched base on earlier, we were able to do new infrastructure on Springfield Avenue, as well as Stuyvesant Avenue, which is a huge improvement for the neighborhood that eventually will garner investments in those areas. As you can see, it has taken place on Stuyvesant Avenue, and we're looking for the same on Springfield as well as Chestnut.
And I got it, if I may, Dr. Brownstein, yeah, as a professional planner and also as the mayor, one of the things that we've done in our downtown is we made a concerted effort to enhance and revitalize our downtown. We were talking off camera, we were talking about Jan's Restaurant and how it was a major draw and to the downtown area, and it really brought, not only students and individuals, but it brought families to the downtown as well. And so as a professional planner, my concentration is redevelopment planning, and it has so many different benefits: blight elimination, tax-based expansion, strategic planning for different population shifts, and it increases property values, and most importantly, job creation and retention. And so in our downtown, what we've done is we've brought in 3 different projects. There's an American Landmark Developers Project, which most people see if you drive through our center. It's a 4-phase project. It was born from our desire to increase foot traffic in the center. We wanted to make the shopping experience more aesthetically pleasing for everybody, wanted to change the physical fabric of our downtown and enhance the socioeconomic conditions of the center. And so I'm very proud to announce that we've, the first phase of that project is completed. It's 80 units. And it has opened, and we're very proud of it. And we're actually moved on to the second phase of the project now. We also have another project downtown, which is called Titan Union. It was formerly the Connect One Bank property in the center, and that's underway as well. The interior of that project is an adaptive reuse project, which basically means, we're going to maintain the shell of the building, and we're going to renovate inside of it. And upon completion, it's going to be used as a community space, residential and commercial use. And it's also going to have an arts and culture component directly situated at the heart of, what we consider the most of the important part of Union, which is our downtown. And finally, there's another project in our downtown, which is located at 1206 Stuyvesant Avenue. It's a mixed-use project. It's right above Brooklyn Pizza, and it includes ground-level retail and about 24 residential units. And that project is slated to be completed by December of this year. So we're very proud of the redevelopment projects that are underway in our downtown, and we really look forward to, the breathing continued life and just the enhanced, revitalized experience that both our residents and patrons will have in our center.
No, that's great. I don't want to ruin the mood, but there's one elephant in the room, and that's the movie theater.
The movie theater.
Go ahead, Don.
We used to go there 2 or 3 times a week, and in fact, we actually hired one of the people who work there to be a salesperson for us. But obviously, it's not the same thing as you go to the movie theater in Montclair. We have your business where you walk in and they have 2 restaurants to the left, commercial to the right, and then you have the movie theater, and then back up on the other side, you have a number of other stores. So
right.
If we could do that kind of model with the movie theater, I think everybody would benefit, because it's everything good that you're doing. You have to close your eyes between Morris Avenue and Stuyvesant until you get to Blue Ribbon. And once you get Blue Ribbon, you have one of their pastry you forget about next door.
And we counting on that for now.
The movie theater is not an elephant in the room. It's an opportunity in the room.
There you go.
Yes.
So I assure you that we are regularly looking at that property as an opportunity. And when we have something to share, we absolutely will. but we recognize the importance of that location to the township, and we're working on something diligently there.
No, that'd be great, because again, that was the first movie theater I took my granddaughter to. She got a big tub of popcorn, sat down on my wife's lap, and everything was good with the universe. Jim, we saved the best for last. I want to thank you again for putting this together. Kind of a kindred spirit. We've crossed paths only for a year, but I think we're like-minded, and as far as the potential for growth, everything that we've already talked about is great. I think it's just the tip of the iceberg of where we can take Union and, you know, the businesses and the people living in Union to even higher. And I think, Jim, you're kind of in the you're the pivot man, because all businesses eventually revolve around your influence, and with the help of the other people on board here, you're the man.
Thank you. Our chamber is 65 years old this year. We were going to celebrate with a big party with the theme of the Roaring 20s in April, and everyone knows that didn't happen, sadly. But our motto at the chamber is where business is personal. And we mean that in many ways. One is that I take it very personally. I work very closely with our members. I work closely with the township. As you can see today, we communicate constantly. I have access to the people who can help to make decisions and help to guide businesses who want to come into town, or businesses who are in town and need some assistance. Especially during the pandemic, I worked behind the scenes to make sure that businesses had access to information. Actually, both the mayor and the chamber put out daily newsletters updating the residents as to resources, local news, county, federal, state news, so that each business and resident could stay abreast of what was going on and get the kind of help they needed, whether it was payroll protection loans or grants, all the way to, you know, going to a food bank to get assistance for your family. So we work very, very closely. We have an association right now of almost 350 businesses, ranging from the major medical centers to the mom and pop stores to the home-based businesses. I work very closely, as much as I can, with all of the members to make sure that they have the opportunity to network with each other. The pandemic changed the nature of how we're doing business this year, and I hope we can get back to normal. With these Zoom meetings, I always say we have to stop meeting like this, because I like the in-person touch. We hold monthly networking events. Our members love to do business with each other, and we try to put them together to do that. We hold some major events in the township. One of them, again, unfortunately, had to be canceled, which was our 5K. But that's an example of the cooperative nature of our township. We call it the Mayor's Day 5K because I work with the mayor, and we meet early in the year to determine charity, usually a local family that we can help within the township with a portion of our proceeds. It's held in conjunction with the police department, fire department, EMS, the Board of Education, and the community at large, and of course our business communities. When we started the 5K back in 2011, we had 3 sponsors. Last 5K, we had 72. So it shows how we've grown. And I can tell you that I tell people that although I don't technically live in Union, I live in Cranford, but I tell people that I do live in Union and I sleep in Cranford because this is where I've been for 30 plus years. I've been a part of the chamber since 1989, not in the position that I'm in, but during my time at Union Hospital, I was the contact, and I was a member of the board of directors and also a past president. We're governed by a 28-member board, and that board helps to set policy, also assists me in reaching out to be ambassadors to the business community, and we're always welcoming new businesses. You mentioned physicians. When Union Hospital closed, we did lose a lot of physicians as members, and I'd love to be able to bring that back and put together even a medical support group in a way, an advisory council where those in the healthcare profession can get together from time to time, share information, and support each other, just like we do with other industries like fitness, food service, insurance, accounting, banking. We're excited about where we're going. We had a little bit of a detour with all of the events of the past year, but we're here, we're alive, we're thriving, and we're not going anywhere. So we're here to support the community, and we take it very personally.
Oh, that's great. Mayor, any other thoughts?
Yeah, I gotta tell you, Jim is a breath of fresh air, and he is wonderful to work with. I encourage all businesses to, really look to join the local Chamber of Commerce. Not only to make business contacts, but, really to just bring additional credibility to their businesses. He's a wonderful source, networking opportunities, phenomenal. And also it's just a really great opportunity to gain a voice in government. Jim is really, really good at, sort of making that connection between local businesses and government officials. I have met so many different business owners in the community because of Jim. And so, I want to say thank you to Jim for that. And just, again, really encourage folks to join the chamber. I'd also like to mention that here at the township, we have so many programs, and while we are facing difficult times and we are trying to social distance, we do recognize the need for, people to get out and get some fresh air. And so we have sponsored, hosted a bunch of different programs, both last weekend and this weekend. We have some programs coming up as well. On Saturday, we have a inflatable, a family festival. It's an inflatable program, and it'll be held in Rabkin Park at 4 p.m. It's a food truck festival and inflatable village. Again, that's at Rabkin Park from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. And on Sunday in the center, we are having a car show for those of you who like antique cars. It's a wonderful thing. It's our fall festival. We do it annually, and we will have cars, bike, and truck show. It's from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m., and it'll be right here in the center. So please feel free to come out and join us. It's a great time. And again, we will be encouraging all to socially distance. And, I just really want to thank you so much for having us here.
Thanks for tuning in to the Dynamic Radiologist Podcast. Make sure to click subscribe to get updates on our latest episodes.